Hi guys, Simon here from Precision Permaculture, and we're just into the start of spring here, and it's a beautiful time of year with everything shooting up and all the blossom on the trees. So today I thought I'd show you how we make an instant bed on grass, basically. So you can plant straight into it. So it doesn't take too long to construct, and it's ready to go. We've done a few of these already. Here's one we constructed, I think, a couple of years back, maybe. And we've put plants in there as gills, as support species for the pear tree that we've got in the middle. We've put some thyme in here, a few little shrubs like that, and we've got a blackcurrant bush in here, and we've got some lavender just around this side over here that's for pollinators, which looks lovely. We've also got a bit of ground cover in there. We put some strawberries down. We've got some herbs. There's a few perennials as well. You can see here there's a sorrel that's coming up. A few pansies in there as well that look lovely. Oh, there's a little shallot in there as well, so we're growing a shallot in that one. Wherever there's a space, we tend to pop things in. And we've got a nice little fennel here that dies back in the winter. It's just coming out now. And so that's the idea, is to create a few layers, and we've protected it by just putting this jute netting. It's a cheap way of doing it. You just get some jute netting, 4 of these metal pin posts, and put it around. Basically, it stops the chickens getting in and scratching it all to bits, because that's what's happened in the past. So it's a good method, it's quick and easy, and it works really well. So we've got this area over here by another pear tree, I think. And today we've had it covered previously with some hessian just to keep the weeds away from the base of it, because trees grow a lot faster when they're away from the grass, the trunk. And we've put a bit of chicken manure down first of all. And I'm just going to mark the area with the black pegs here, because that's where the metal posts are going to go, because we've got 5 meters of jute netting, so 1.25 meters apart. So I'm just going to give it a quick water first of all. You don't have to get rid of the grass. We're going to cover that with cardboard. So I'm just going to wet it a little bit first of all, just to get a bit of moisture down there. We're putting damp cardboard on here anyway, so I'm not going to wet this one too much, but if you're doing this at home and it's dry ground, I suggest you give it a good soaking if you're going to put cardboard on, because you can then soak the cardboard. I've pre-soaked it over here in this wheelbarrow. Like so. Now, I'm going to put a few veggie scraps in, just from the peelie bin at home, from the kitchen, just to get the worms a bit interested and get them coming up. I'll squash them. That's a good amount. So we'll pop those down. That's the first bit of the process, and then we're going to just take our cardboard, which is soaking in here, basically go up to the edge of it where the pins are, the black pegs. So worms are going to love this cardboard. They're just going to munch their way through it as it breaks down. I've taken off all the sellotape off the cardboard as well, because you don't want plastics going into the ground, so we've stripped off those. And then we're just going to basically roughly place this on the ground here. Doesn't matter if you go over slightly, because we're going to mulch around the edge to stop the weeds getting underneath and going back in. So let's pop these bits on here. Yeah. And these beds, they can be used for anything. You don't just have to sort of use them for planting your veggies in. You can have a flower bed. It's the principle that's important here. It's just the fact that you're just taking a piece of grass and turning it into a growing area, and you can grow whatever you want in that area. And there's a few ways of doing it. Okay, here we are. Cardboard's in. Use the excess water that's in the wheelbarrow just to soak it a bit further. There you are. That's nice and soaked. The next stage is to get a nice layer of compost going on top of that. So we brought some of our compost down that's the chickens have helped us produce, and we're going to put a layer of about 6 inches is a good amount to put on. So if we just place this down here, it's full of worms. This is beautiful stuff. It's homemade compost going down. And you can use straw for this as well. You don't have to use compost. Compost is expensive, so if you're not making it yourself and you've got to buy it, best thing to do is get a bale of straw and just put a layer of straw down, and then you can pull back the straw and put a small amount of compost in pockets and plant straight into those areas that are surrounded in a couple of handfuls of compost, rather than having to compost the whole thing. So you get a good layer on there. Might need a bit more of this, but you get the idea. There we go. Right. So I'll do half of it here, because otherwise I'm going to have to break off. But basically, that's it. Instant. So now I'm just going to show you how I protect the edge of it to stop any deer coming in, nibbling it, chickens kicking it out, cats, children. Just put the post in. So I'm going to thread the jute through the post. I'm just roughly placing them in the ground for now. I'm going to hammer them in solidly when I've got them in place. So place that on there. So I want an opening as well, so I'm going to put two in that spot so I can pull back the jute and get into it if I need to. It's also easier to construct it that way as well, rather than having to tie the jute with string to get it to close at the corner. Okay, okay, we'll break there, and I'll just finish off the rest of it, and I'll come back and show you how to put the jute around. It's nicely covered now. Probably could do with a bit more, but we'll see how that goes for now. And that'll stop the grass coming through. And now I just need to protect it from the chickens. So, get the jute. Basically, you just go in and out. and I usually just sort of tie that top with a bit of string, and it's all nicely protected. So when you're going to plant into it, you do need to break the cardboard which you put in the ground to allow the roots to get into the soil. So you dig a little area down like that where you want to plant your seedlings or whatever it is you're planting, and you just need to break through to the soil, and then a couple of handfuls of compost again, maybe just to bring the level up a bit, and you're there. Plant it in, give it a water, hot to trot. So as you can see, we've put a good layer of compost on this. We're going to be growing squash in it, and they're very hungry, so they're going to really enjoy and benefit a lot from the nutrients that are in the soil here, in the compost here. As you can see, it's got about sort of 6 inches plus, maybe. Beautiful compost in there. So that's the job done, and now we just need to keep it damp, so we're going to put some mulch over the top of that before we plant into it. You can do it after you've planted in, that's fine too. But we're just going to put a bit of mulch on because we won't be planting the squash out until the danger of frost has gone. So they've got another 2 weeks in the propagator indoors before they get planted into that beautiful compost there with all those lovely organisms in there. I'm just going to remove some of the compost. See how thick that is there? It's beautiful. Really deep, down to the cardboard. You just about see the cardboard there. So I'm just going to remove that from the stem because we don't want the pear tree sprouting up from the trunk. And also, if you dome very slightly, the water goes down to the roots when it rains. If you've got a little well in there, there's actually a sort of self-watering system as well. So that's why we've done that. Just going to grab a bit of the loose grass clippings up here that are quite dry. They haven't composted down, but what they will do is make an excellent mulch to go on top of the compost that we've just put on the new bed. So I'm just going to hoover some of this off the top that's suitable. And, if you just bear with me a bit, I'll be taking it down there and mulching up the bed we've done with it. So we'll just sort of layer that on the surface. You can crumble it up and make it a bit finer. Would be more ideal, really. It's a bit hard, it's baked in the sun. But the important thing is just to get a layer of mulch on to retain the moisture in the compost. And the last thing we're going to be doing is we've got some equinola that we used to grow mushrooms in, and we've tried emptying out some of the equinola and growing into it, and nothing seems to grow in it at all. So I'm going to put a little layer of equinola around the edge to stop the grass creeping back in. Put a little bit there. And you can just keep doing this, it'll get kicked out by the chickens, and you can just keep adding it. You can use grass clippings are fine. There are other products on the market. As long as it's a barrier to the weeds, cuts out the light, put a generous layer on. Chickens have already shown an interest in it. And that's pretty much it done. Pleased with that. Yeah, great. Thanks for watching. See you next time.